thinking right now, I wonder, did he
eat 800 morning glory seeds?
The answer is yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gun Cave, and welcome to my first LSA trip report reading. I wanted to read this specific report because I'm planning to do LSA pretty soon on stream, twitch.tv/theguncave, and usually before I do a substance I haven't done before, or even ones I have done before, I like to go through trip reports on the substance. So without further ado, please check out the charities in the description, and let's hop into it. Gender, male. Weight, 155 pounds. Age, 17. Setting, my house. I had gotten interested in psychedelics, so I ordered some morning glory seeds. Never having done anything like this before, I did not know what to expect. I ate spaghetti for dinner, and I decided to take the seeds afterwards. It was roughly 5:30, and it seemed like a good time. The packet had about 1,500 seeds in it, so I poured roughly half of the seeds out in my hand. I smelled them, and they carried a very natural, earthy smell. I decided to take the seeds in 2 mouthfuls, since all 800 of the seeds at once would just be too much. I put half of the seeds in my mouth and began chewing. The taste wasn't that bad. It became a little difficult to swallow, so I quickly got a cup of lemonade and got the seeds down pretty quickly. I put the second amount of seeds in my mouth. It was hard to get them down this time, even with the lemonade. I gagged, but I eventually got them down. 30 minutes in, and I feel very weak. I had to lay down on the couch. I had read online that morning glory seeds cause nausea, and I was determined not to throw up. The nausea wasn't too bad at this point, mostly just a feeling of overwhelming weakness was present. I was listening to music, but I put down my computer and just laid there for the rest of the come up. After 30 more minutes of laying on the couch, the nausea kind of went away. I began to notice a very pleasant sensation throughout my body. It was a mellow, stoning kind of feeling. Very nice indeed. I got excited and walked to my room and put my bed covers over my face so I could see if there were any CEVs. The first thing I saw was a dimly lit grid of lines with small shapes moving between the squares in the grid. I just laid in my bed for about 20 minutes and watched the magnificent grid spread and warp throughout my vision. I was feeling very euphoric at this point, and I remember my mom saying that she was going to the store. She didn't know I had taken anything, and I said okay and went back on the back porch to lay down on the couch. After a bit of laying there, I went outside and laid in the grass. It felt like the grass was slowly eating me, and I didn't mind that at all. I looked up at the trees above me, laughing like crazy and just thinking a ton of thoughts about the universe. I have no idea how long I was laying out there, but eventually I did go back inside on the porch. I began to notice some tracers though when I moved my iPod too quickly. At this point, I'm starting to lose track of time. My mom came home and she called my name, but I couldn't get up off the couch on the porch. The euphoria was just way too overwhelming for me to even think about getting up. But then I thought she might get really scared if she didn't see me anywhere in the house, so I just got up. Gravity seemed to be getting heavier with every step I took to make it back inside. I don't remember what she got at the store, but she didn't seem to notice I was on anything. I went back to my room and closed my eyes. I saw a lot of different kinds of landscapes. I don't remember that much from the landscapes, except for ancient Egyptians and pyramids, along with some cryptic bursts of thought. It's dark outside by this point, and I'm sitting in the TV room on the couch. I can't remember if the TV was on or not, but either way, it doesn't matter because staring at the floor was a lot more entertaining. It was drifting, kind of flowing like an ocean. I just was unable to stop staring at it. I got up and looked in the mirror. My eyes were more dilated than I've ever seen them, and everything looked extremely crisp and detailed. I sat back down on the couch and texted my friends. I tried explaining to them that I was tripping, but I ended up just typing random things about the universe. They were very confused. I began to enter ego death. The rapid thoughts that I had been having up to this point began to slow down until I wasn't thinking about anything at all. I was just there, existing. I don't remember anything from the ego death. I have no idea how long I was gone, but when I came back, I didn't even realize what had happened. When I came back, I was still holding on to my can of cola. I put the can of Coke on the table next to the couch. I just continued sitting there for a while. I don't even know how long. Eventually, my mom walked by and got concerned because I looked like a rag doll. She asked if I was okay, and I said yes. Because my ego was just removed from me, I wasn't exactly sure where I was or really was able to recognize who I was around. All I knew was that my mom looked familiar and that my house looked familiar. I put my hand on my chest and I couldn't feel a heartbeat. I also couldn't tell if I was breathing or not. Normally, this would have really freaked me out, but it didn't this time. I felt like I knew the purpose behind why I wasn't able to breathe, and that was honestly good enough for me. I felt like I knew the answers to just about every question in the world without even having to think about it. I just had the answers as they presented themselves from an unknown place somewhere in my head. 5.5 hours in, I got the wonderful idea of listening to music on my computer. I hadn't listened to music really up to this point except for the come up. It took a moment to remember the password to my computer, but I eventually got it. I picked out a song with a lot of heavy bass and put the equalizer to max bass. Then I put my earbuds in and started the song. This was one of the most intense things I've ever experienced. It felt like the song was ripping my consciousness out of my body. The visuals really started picking up. The carpet was flowing more than ever, and then I looked at the front door. It was morphing like it was dancing to the song almost. I glanced at my hand and my skin was flowing. The shadows on my hand were melting down my wrist. After a little bit of staring at my hand, I realized that my hand was just many different geometric shapes. It was mostly three-dimensional triangles and trapezoids seamlessly interconnecting with each other as they moved along my skin. My mom went to the front door to go out for a cigarette, and the door was flowing as she opened it and closed it. After listening to music, I kind of started to feel really fucking sick to my stomach. So I went to the other room and laid on that couch. I laid there for a good while. I might have even fallen asleep here and there, but I can't really remember. If I did fall asleep, it definitely was a light sleep. I eventually decided to go to bed. I got in bed and laid in the dark while watching the geometry. I tried going to sleep for a while, but it didn't work. After a few hours, I was eventually able to sleep. At 2 a.m., I suddenly wake up and begin throwing up as I shoot out of bed. I could have found something to puke on, but it didn't even cross my mind as I was basically still asleep. So now there's just a pile of thrown up spaghetti and seeds on my floor. I tried my best to clean it up, but it was hard as shit to get my hands to work. The body load was pretty heavy still, and I really couldn't focus on a task. The puke began drifting, and I laughed a little bit. I gave up trying to clean it and just to put a towel over it to hide it. I still felt sick and laid on the floor. I threw up again, this time on the towel, though. At that moment, I decided that I would never take these seeds again. I woke up pretty early and felt amazingly rejuvenated. Everything looked and felt so crisp and vibrant. I didn't really feel like sick anymore. I explained to my friends that I was tripping last night and straightened that whole situation out. And the rejuvenation feeling lasted for about a month. Well, everybody, that is the 800 seed LSA trip. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. If you're into trip reports, seeing niggas do drugs, understanding them better so that you don't have to do them yourself or just something you can relate to, go ahead and drop a sub. I be doing this around here. So thank you a ton again, and follow the Twitch. Adios. Check out the fucking what are they called? Charities. Sorry, I'm high.